Before I start the video today, I want to remind everybody that I'm gonna put some clips at the end of this video of some of the scenic landscape here in Big Bear. So if you want to check it out, stay to the end of this video. So here we are, Big Bear, California. It is Wednesday, December 27, 2023. We just pulled off the side of the road here on our way to get some lunch. And I was reading some articles this morning. I'm going to share with you, and I want to get your thoughts, so please feel free to comment down below. Make sure to like this video, share this video and all my videos, and make sure that you subscribe to this channel, that we continue to get the word out, the message, and continue to wake people up. 2024, I believe, is going to be a historic year, a very chaotic year. We need to be preparing. Many of you have been preparing for years. Thank God you have. Many people have not, and I feel somewhat sorry for them. In a way I don't, because they've been warned so many times. But let's get into a few things I want to discuss today. As the holidays wind down, many people had those holiday dinners, the Christmas dinner. And I was curious, I was thinking today, how many of your friends, relatives, family members, how many of them discussed the economy over that Christmas dinner this past week? And what did they say? What did your friends, your family, your relatives that you had over at the house having dinner, what did they say about the U.S. economy? How is it affecting them right now? Were they even awake or aware of what's happening to the economy? Were they being personally affected by the economy? I want to know your thoughts on this. I can tell you, my family sitting at the table, completely awake with what's happening to the economy, and everybody is being affected by it, at least the people sitting at my table. But I want to know, what about the people sitting at your table? Are they being affected? Are they clueless? Are they awake? What's going on? And what is their outlook for 2024? Comment down below. Another thing I want to discuss today, I saw gold up around $20 today. Someone knows or is very worried about something very, very big that is coming. Nothing bad has happened yet. You see gold now at $2,080, $2,085 right now, and nothing bad has happened. Somebody knows something. Something is going on. Something big is coming. So we see gold soaring, we see U.S. Treasury soaring, and we see the U.S. dollar diving. I was reading some articles today, and a lot of the discussion is the stock market and war, and that war is good for the U.S. stock market. And I will say this, war on U.S. soil is not good for the stock market and will not be good for the stock market. And there is a potential that we're going to see war on U.S. soil. With everything that we're doing and putting our nose in everybody's business, with allowing so many people to come over here, it is a matter of time before something breaks loose on U.S. soil, and we are no doubt prepared at all. We're nowhere near prepared for anything, any type of confrontation on our own soil, especially the U.S. people who are completely out of shape, obese, dumbed down, addicted to pharmaceuticals, addicted to their phones, addicted to Hollywood, addicted to sports. We will be in very, very big trouble if that day comes, or when that day comes. Especially think about cybersecurity, a cyber war taking place in America, how defenseless we would be with massive cyber attacks and a cyber war hitting America. No communication, no internet. We're in very, very big trouble. First article I want to share with you today, Washington Post. Robust holiday shopping sends economy soaring into 2024. How many of you believe that the economy is soaring into 2024? It says here, retail sales data from MasterCard showed consumers spent big. Now, I don't know. Do you believe the data? I'm gonna go ahead and believe this data. I'm gonna believe it, that people spent big. They bought books and coats. They went to fancy dinners. They bought airline tickets. They bought all kind of things. From November 1st to December 24th, retail sales were up 3.1% from the same, compared to the same period last year. Strong consumer confidence it's clear, it says, that the economy is in a far better place than anyone expected. This coming from the Washington Post. I certainly don't believe that the economy is doing well. I certainly don't believe it's doing better than expected. I don't believe the consumer's doing well. Now, what they don't sit here and tell you in this article is, what are they using to spend? Well, clearly, they're getting their data from MasterCard. So people are using credit cards in order to do this. And when I read this, again, I don't know whether to believe the data or not, but I'm going to believe this data from MasterCard. And if we do believe this, people are going to get what they deserve. If they are out there running up a multitude of credit cards in order to have fancy dinners, buy Christmas gifts, to travel, people are going to get what they deserve. And look, there's no doubt we have a spending addiction here in America. And this is really sad because so many people have no idea what's around the corner. And the worst thing you could be doing right now is spending money you don't have, using plastic. One of your many credit cards that's charging you 22+% in interest, and going out and spending and getting deeper into debt as we are nearing some very, very big events, especially a financial collapse. This debt crisis that's coming, if you're carrying debt into this depression, you're going to have a very hard time feeding your families, feeding yourself, sheltering, protecting your families. It's going to be a mess for a lot of people. Business Insider, JP Morgan says this: 99% of Americans will be financially worse off by mid-2024. That is JP Morgan. 99% of Americans will be financially worse off by mid-2024. So that's summertime 2024, that 99% of this country is going to be worse off than it already is. You know, it just seems like people are going to ride this all the way to the very end. They're going to sit there and dance to the music as the Titanic sinks, and they're not going to worry about it until they have to worry about it, until those credit cards get shut off, until they're completely tapped out, until they can no longer apply for another card because nobody's going to give them one. I can't believe how reckless and idiotic people are behaving at this point. We are getting really into a serious time in U.S. history. The Los Angeles Times: California Pizza Hut franchises to lay off more than 1,100 delivery drivers ahead of wage hike. Now, here in California, they just passed Assembly Bill 1228. So if a restaurant has more than 60 locations, I believe, they have got to pay not the $15.50 minimum wage. No, they have to pay a $20 minimum wage. And Pizza Hut has over 60 locations. So this, just weeks before the state's $20 minimum wage for fast food workers is set to go into effect. Here's 1,100 people. Merry Christmas to these 1,100 people who just got laid off. Now what do they do? What do they do? How do they make their rent payment? How do they make their credit card payment? How do they make their car payment? 1,100 plus people in one shot gone. FinancialTimes.com: banks shed 60,000 jobs in one of the worst years for cuts since the financial crisis. Now, this came out a couple days ago, and I know it's been all over the news, a lot of people talking about it, but I just wanted to tie it into this. 1,100 pizza delivery drivers here, 60,000 bank workers here. It'll be 5,000 tech workers here, 10,000 tech workers there, 3,000 truck drivers there. You know, it just goes on and on and on. People are losing their jobs left and right, and yet we're supposed to believe that the consumer is strong, even though they have to use a credit card to go holiday shopping. They have to use a credit card to pay utilities. They have to use a credit card at this point just to go grocery shopping. But the economy's booming and the consumer is strong. Give me a break. UBS, Credit Suisse, top the chart here for layoffs. Then Wells Fargo, Citigroup, Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, and Merrill Lynch. These banks led the list. And many of these jobs and many of these layoffs were right here in America. So again, how are these people going to pay for all those Christmas gifts they were buying, or homes they live in, or apartments they rent? How are they going to pay their bills? It's a lot of people. Wall Street Journal, Industry, Texas. city in Texas, small town, Industry Bank Shares, a small bank with $5 billion in assets. It's the parent company of 6 banks with more than 24 branches scattered across stretches of farms and ranches in eastern Texas. Well, big trouble. These banks, these banks are extremely important to the farmers, the ranches, people who live in small towns. Now they have to deal with decisions that they made when money was abundant, thanks to low interest rates. Industry is now currently $75 million underwater because it piled into long-term bonds when rates were low. These bonds plunged in value, and the bank's liabilities have been exceeding its assets soon after the Fed started to hike rates in 2022. We're going to see a full-blown banking crisis in America. 2023 got you warmed up to it, folks, but we're going to see a full-blown crisis take place here. And these banks fail to protect themselves from interest rate hikes and the interest rate risk. CNBC, it's a massive student loan strike as millions of borrowers still aren't making payments. But just to go back really quick to this last article regarding this bank in Texas, they failed to protect themselves from the risk, just like millions of Americans are failing to protect themselves from the risk right now. In fact, what they're doing is they're putting themselves deeper into risk, running up credit cards even farther. But real quick, this story on CNBC, it's a massive student loan strike as millions of borrowers still aren't making payments. 40% of borrowers of student loan debt still have not made a payment. Comment down below. What should happen to these people? Average payment is $400. We're being told, well, they have decisions to make. Do they eat? Do they pay their rent? Do they feed their kids? They just don't have the money. My question is, what did these people do over the last 3 years when they could have been working side hustles? We heard 11, 12 million jobs out there. What did these people do for 3.5 years if they weren't paying their student loan debt? Now there's 12 million jobs out there. Why weren't they out there working 1, 2, or 3 jobs, paying this debt down? Now we're supposed to feel sorry for everybody because they can't feed their kids, they can't pay their utilities, they can't pay their rent, they can't pay the car payment. So instead, they have decisions to make, and paying back the student loan debt is not a top priority. So comment down below, what should happen to these people? I think their credit should be severely affected. They should be made to pay this back. They obligated, they signed on the dotted line, they promised to pay it back, they shook hands, they borrowed the money, and they made an obligation to pay it back. So if they don't pay it back, why should you pay your credit card payment back? Why should you make that mortgage payment? Why should you be paying on your car? Why should you be paying bills at all? Everybody should just live for free then, if this is the case right here. This is a sad, sad example of what's happening right now in this economy, that people made very, very reckless, irresponsible decisions, and now they're on the hook for thousands of dollars, and now they don't want to pay it back. They have to pay it back. You know what? These people should be forced to work. They can go clean trash on the side of the road. They can go work for the government, the state, whatever, and do something to contribute to paying this debt down. There's something people could be doing. Comment down below. I don't really have the answer to it, but not paying it back is unacceptable because we all have to pay our bills. We're all obligated to pay our debts back, yet these people aren't. So again, comment down below. I'm going to put a couple clips in this video of some of the beautiful landscape here in Big Bear, so make sure that you hang on, check out the rest of this video.